Hi there, this is Olivia with a slightly different setup and wearing biker shorts despite my irrational fear of camel toe to try and show you how you can use. Here I'm not using fabrics because I don't have lots of fabrics that I can use at the moment. So I'm just going to show with ready-made garments and how you can use it to come up with different shapes and silhouettes. Important things to have. I'm doing this one by myself, so ideally I would have a mirror. And but like if you don't have a mirror, at least like find a friend. Or I don't really like to work on the mannequin. I like to like put clothes and bits of fabrics on a person with arms and legs that can move around and give me their feedback, maybe like move and try to do like some interesting poses so I can figure out like how this garment would work. But yeah, I don't have that here. It's just me and a camera, and then I'm gonna take some screenshots and show you like even if you don't get the best materials and you already have like, oh, this is the design that I want to make, you can still like draw over your pictures and refine your ideas so then it can become like an actual design. If you're working with another person or just yourself, it's good to have with you your pin cushion and some bulldog clip. Oh, the first thing is, let's say you have just a really big piece of fabric. Maybe you can gather it and place it on your waist, and then you see how it would work. Or there's a design. I saw this picture on everyone's Instagram a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, later you can go and do some fancy drawings on top of this thing, create new details, and figure out how this would work as like a final garment. You can also, okay, let's say we have this, or let's use, I have a kilt here. Like a lot of the times people want to work with pleats, and then, I'm so sorry, Jack. Why do you want? I have this kilt here, and like not everyone will have a kilt, but like Oxfam and thrift shops will always have some sort of pleats and skirts. So you can buy that, or you can get a lot of fabric and pleat it. But the thing is, like if you go on the mannequin and you just go and make a pleated skirt, then that's it. That's just the pleated skirts. So like yeah, keep things like loose and play around with it. Okay, like how could this happen? So like I like to wear this kilt already kind of like this because it is a little bit too tight for me. So then you can later see, I can't see what's happening, so if that's the case with you, you can always do like I'm going to do with this one and take screenshots and draw over it and see what is working and what is not. This is a legit way to work with Photoshop instead of just like faking design development from pictures on the internet. We did this with the pleats like this, so what if I had them, I don't know, intertwined my boobie a little bit, and how would this work? Would this work? We just had it extending up, like what if it were a big ruffle? And yeah, when I said ask your friend or do it yourself in front of a mirror instead of using the mannequins, because of this you can have a better idea of like what's gonna happen when the person is inhabiting the garments. Or like, okay, what if we, like, would it work if I did just like this? Like, what sort of construction I would have to come up with so the pleats would stand. We'll do this, and then you're working with pleats, you can, like, I'm not gonna undo this, but maybe you could go and like this, the pleats are very deep, but outside they're very narrow, so you could try to make different samples, and then one will have like a pleat like this wide and then like repeating, or you have pleats that start small and then they become larger, like make different experiments. There might be a point, like if you're just getting, like, this is not getting hard for me because I'm just giving you like general and very generic broad advice, and not like working on a specific research or projects. So yeah, it could be that now it's just starting to get a little bit messy, but okay, this is a good example. Like if you have ruffles and volume on your work, don't do like a little bit. Don't do like, oh, I did one string. Do lots of them, like even more. Like for example, if this were to be like a whole, maybe full length dress, you would make a sample that would go like all of this, but maybe you wouldn't do like the whole front of the dress. Maybe you do like just a panel and see how it works. And I'm not gonna do like try to like use both at the same time because I don't know what I'm doing, like I can't see what I'm doing, and maybe it's just becoming like a big old mess. So later you can always go and get the pictures and select the parts that you like and collage them together. And again, about like my argument of using Photoshop as a legit design tool, that's a good way. Like instead of you getting bits and pieces from somebody else's body of work, like lots of people like to get pictures from, I've seen people doing a lot with lumps and bumps from Comme des Garçons, and then just selecting like blobs from here and there and putting in all sorts of different places. Like, well, that's lumps and bumps. You're just making a worse version of something that's already super iconic. If you're collaging pictures that comes from your own research and development, then it's legit. It's your own process. So, like, what could this be? Or what if this were like going all over my leg? How would I pin it? This is a skirt by Com, so this is already very designed, so it'll be kind of hard to create something new with this. They have some kimonos, so it's, I think the interesting thing about this one is that if you can hear the sound that the fabric makes, like it's silk, it feels quite special. So sometimes it's less about the weird shapes that you can create and being inspired by how clothes make you feel. Maybe you can just play with the styling. And again, not everything is gonna work, but if you have an idea, you have to go and test it. If it doesn't work, then nobody needs to see it. So, yeah. Unless you're doing a YouTube video like me. See it? Is this a thing? Okay, there you go. I don't know what's happening, but let's give it a try. Wow, I do not look stupid at all, I bet. Oh, there we go. Work? Probably not, but still we're trying. And I think I am running out of ideas because, yeah, right now I am just pulling ideas out of my ass. So yeah, this was a little bit messy, but the point of this experiment is just to show that you don't need a lot of technique to start with, just good research, because otherwise you're going to do like me and just like, I'll be doing lots of stuff and hoping that something good will come out of it. So yeah, good research that you can look to for reference, and curiosity, just try to do things. And this of course was a different way of working than my Borrow portfolio, because I don't know if it's super clear. For that one, what I did, so I had the small textile samples and I supersized them, and found one of my course mates, and I draped those really big textile samples on her. I more or less knew that I wanted to create like some really big pleats with one of the samples. The other one I created a really big sleeve that in some collages it almost looks like a hunchback. For that project I really complicated my life, because all the pictures in the end are like on my portfolio, they're black and white, and but I did go through the trouble of dyeing and painting all of them. Like, don't worry about that. You can also, this is another way that you can use Photoshop. You can have all your pictures in black and white, and later on Photoshop you can go in color, and I can Photoshop or Illustrator is very easy to change color. Yeah, that's the takeaway from this video. Just get some clothes, just find whatever props you can find, just whatever excites you or whatever you think could be interesting. Grab them and do stuff with it. Like, even at a school like CSM, especially at a school like CSM, nobody is gonna stop and teach you how to put stuff on a mannequin in a creative way. Like, maybe during fashion folio, if you were lucky enough to be like working on the mannequin at the precise moments that the tutor came for your tutorial, then maybe he would come and like help you like place things and like move things around. But usually it's just you trying and trying and trying again, then going back, looking at your pictures and looking what works, what doesn't, and look at like what sort of further studies you need to do. And this is a part where drawing will come in very handy. So next video will be about that. So do you need to know how to draw? Kinda. Let's say that, like, it is a useful tool. So yeah, next video will be about that, and I'll probably do an update on how you can make your own templates. At this point, a lot of people have used my runway model templates. If too many people start using it, I'm not that popular, but like, if everyone that's applying to CSM uses my templates, there will be a point where the tutors will just look at it and say, ugh, next. And yeah, it's as I said, it's starting to get very difficult. All my feedback, like in a like public YouTube video, will become very generic, like very bland, common sense advice. If you get to a point where you're just like spinning your wheels and you're ready to declare that, oh, I'm stuck, then don't be stuck. It's time that you look again at your research. It's time that you look for someone else to give you feedback, and ideally you will find someone that, you know, doesn't try to force you in a particular direction, like neither too commercial or too normal, because, you know, why do you want to compete with Zara, or like, nor they're gonna force you to be like too crazy, too cuckoo, too weird, if that's not what you're about. And if you want my feedback, as always, check out my mentorship sessions on my websites. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.